Hi, my name's Greg Hargarten. I paint with a group of plein air artists called the Men Who Paint. In today's episode, we'll travel to Upper Kananaskis Lake, then hike to Mount Sarrail and paint at Rawson Lake. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and click the bell so you'll be notified when we post new videos. Today, we're in Canada, in the province of Alberta, 100 kilometers west of Calgary, in the mountain town of Canmore. We're heading up Three Sisters Parkway as it climbs up the east end of Mount Rundle toward the Spray Lakes Reservoir and Kananaskis Coutry. There's a great view of Canmore in the Bow Valley from the top, as well as Rundle Forebay Reservoir, White Man's Pond, and Goat Pond. Soon we're on Smith-Dorrien Trail, which runs along the shore of the Spray Lake Reservoir. This is the largest lake in Kananaskis Country. The views from the lake from various trails in the valley verge on iconic. As you can see from this photograph taken by surveyor David Nichols in 1916, it was originally two lakes, Upper and Lower Spray Lakes. And although it was identified for hydroelectric power potential in 1911, it wasn't until 1950 that the Canyon Dam in the south and the Three Sisters Dam in the north were built. This is what it looks like today. Kananaskis Country covers 4,000 square kilometers, or over 1,500 square miles. It's a collection of formally designated wildland parks, provincial parks, recreational parks, ecological reserves, and cultural zones, each of which enjoys a different level of protection. The name Kananaskis was coined by British explorer Captain John Palliser just 150 years ago. However, this area has been inhabited by humans since around 4500 BC, and the Stoney and Blackfoot First Nations lived here until the early 1800s. Palliser derived the word from the name Kananaskis, a warrior who apparently survived an axe blow to the head, spurred by a fight to win the attention of a woman. Since it's never been paved, Smith-Dorrien Trail, or Highway 742, can be a little rough and dusty, but the surrounding landscape is amazing. Stopping for photos along the way is a must. There are definitely some spots of interest on this road that we'll need to return to on future painting excursions. Luckily, we weren't too far from the truck when Cam noticed the grizzly. He's not fully grown, likely a yearling. But thankfully, he's more interested in eating flowers and berries than having anything to do with us. Soon, we're back on the road, and before long, we're at Upper Kananaskis Lake. From the parking lot for the trailhead, you can see Mount Sarrail across the lake. We'll be hiking over the ridge to the bowl in front of the sheer rock face. It's a great morning for a hike, and this is our third day of sunshine on this trip. Rawson Lake is one of the most popular hikes in Kananaskis. It's a long 3.9 kilometer or 2.5 mile steady climb through subalpine forest with great views of Upper Kananaskis Lake along the way. It follows a trail that has a decent amount of incline and enough of an ascent to get your heart pumping, especially if you're carrying a 30-pound pack full of painting supplies and camera gear.
So it's not dripping all over the place on the boat.
Before long, we've reached Turret Falls. It's tempting to stop and paint here, but we have our sights set on Rawson Lake. These falls are just a little over 1 kilometer from the trailhead, so they'll be an easy hike for another day. Palliser's expedition, officially called the British North American Exploring Expedition, explored and surveyed the open prairies and rugged wilderness of Western Canada from 1857 to 1860. Supported by the British government and the Royal Geological Society, John Palliser's purpose was to gather scientific information about the landscapes of Western Canada, and in particular, the territory of Rupert's Land. Rupert's Land was the area comprising the Hudson Bay drainage basin, and it included the whole of Manitoba, most of Saskatchewan, southern Alberta, southern Nunavut, and parts of Ontario and Quebec. The territory had been a commercial monopoly operated by the Hudson's Bay Company for 200 years, from 1670 to 1870. The Rupert's Land Act of 1868 authorized the sale of Rupert's Land to Canada. However, this did not settle the issue of Aboriginal title over the land, a fact which was overlooked by the Crown at the time. Palliser's expedition went about gathering information on geography, climate, soil, flora, and fauna in order to discover possibilities for settlement and transportation. Its report impacted changes in the economy, Indigenous communities, and the campaign for expansionism in Canada. As we near the top, parts of the path are quite swampy because of snow, rain, and lots of traffic. But the park has solved the problem with these wooden boardwalks. We finally made it to the lake, and the view is spectacular.
Man. Okay, that was worth the hike.
We'll need to spend some time capturing images for the studio.
I'm just ditching my cocktail.
Now it's time to set up.
I'm slowly going to move into the sun as the day progresses. Which storage do you want to go just on the bottom?
With very little cloud cover, all of us are interested in staying in the shade and out of the direct sunlight.
I don't want to be in the sun. No, well, that's my problem. I'm going to be slowly moved into the sun here. I'm in it now. But I'm already. But I want to get these things in the foreground if I can manage it. Oh, look how backlit this is. Oh. I'm actually just looking for an excuse already for why my painting sucks. I don't need an excuse. You understand.
I've hung my jacket on the easel to block the sunlight on the back of my canvas.
Little curtains in front of it.
One of the advantages of painting by a lake for acrylic painters is that you don't have to hike in your own water.
Thanks, sir. You know?
What color am I using today? Purple or blue? Yeah, back to that question.
Now, anybody have mosquito repellents of any sort?
Yep. $14 a drop.
I may have a little bit.
Now it's time to get to work. I've found that when painting rock faces, it's imperative to spend the time and map out quite a bit of detail at the beginning of the painting. It's very easy to get confused when looking back and forth between your painting and the mountain. This will help keep things straight later on. With his sketch already finished, Cam is blocking in large shadows. By 1887, this area had become part of Canada's first national park, originally called Rocky Mountain Park, now known as Banff. A new National Parks Act in 1930 removed areas that had commercial potential from Banff. That included much of today's Kananaskis Coutry. These lands were turned over to the Alberta government and became provincial public lands. Kananaskis became a mixed-use area. Roads gave access to coal and minerals for construction and industry. It was used for natural gas and hydroelectric production. Work camps built in the 1930s provided forestry work for single young men during the Great Depression. And during the Second World War, those camps were used as internment camps. In 1977, Alberta's Premier Peter Lougheed approved the creation of the Kananaskis Planning Area and the designation of Kananaskis Provincial Park. By 1986, the province improved the plan to, quote, occur in a manner consistent with the principles of conservation and environmental protection. The focus had shifted to the management of resources, including watersheds, wildlife, fish, grazing lands, minerals, heritage, and forestry. This trend has continued with the creation of new conservation areas in Kananaskis Coutry, including Wind Valley, Spray Valley Provincial Park, Sheep River Provincial Park, Blue Rock Wildlands, Don Getty Wildlands, Elbow Sheep Wildlands, and Bow Valley Wildlands. Thanks for watching. Click like and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.